How Athens outsmarted the Persian Empire at the Battle of Marathon. The Battle of Marathon, Persia versus Athens, in 490 BC was a defining moment in Western history and marked the beginning of the Greco-Persian Wars. Fought on the coastal plain of Marathon in northeastern Attica, this clash pitted the powerful Persian Empire against the much smaller city-state of Athens. Facing a formidable invasion force, Athens relied on strategy over strength. Athenian general Miltiades, understanding the tactical disadvantage of his outnumbered troops, made a bold decision. He deliberately thinned the center of his formation and reinforced both flanks. As the Persian army pushed forward, the Athenian wings encircled them from both sides, trapping and devastating the enemy forces. Miltiades' unorthodox maneuver led to a stunning Athenian victory, halting the Persian advance and shifting the momentum of the conflict. This triumph not only preserved Athenian independence but also inspired a legacy of resistance and democratic resilience that would echo through centuries. The legend of the Greek messenger Miltiades, who ran from Marathon to Athens to announce the victory, gave rise to the modern marathon race. But the true legacy of the Battle of Marathon lies in how strategy, courage, and unity triumphed over overwhelming odds. What caused the Battle of Marathon, Persia versus Athens? The Battle of Marathon Persia versus Athens was sparked by rising tensions between the Persian Empire and several rebellious Greek city-states. At the heart of the conflict was Athens' support for the Ionian Revolt, a series of uprisings in Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, against Persian rule. This act of defiance drew the ire of Persian King Darius I, who sought retribution and aimed to subjugate the Greek mainland to restore imperial dominance. In August or September of 490 BC, the first major confrontation between the Eastern Persian Empire and Western Greece unfolded on the coastal plain of Marathon, just 26 miles northeast of Athens. The Persian expeditionary force, led by generals Hippias, Datis, and Artaphernes, had recently sacked the nearby city-state of Eretria and arrived on Attic shores with confidence. Although the invading army may have numbered fewer than 30,000 troops, it greatly outmatched the Athenian defenders, who could muster fewer than 10,000 hoplites. Only the city-state of Plataea stood with Athens. Meanwhile, several aristocratic factions within Attica welcomed the Persians, hoping to overthrow the young Athenian democracy and reinstate oligarchic rule. This clash was not just a military engagement, it was a battle of ideologies, imperial autocracy versus democratic independence. The causes of the Battle of Marathon were rooted in rebellion, retaliation, and the growing divide between East and West, setting the stage for a conflict that would reshape the ancient world. What happened during the Battle of Marathon, Persia versus Athens? The Battle of Marathon Persia versus Athens stands as one of the most remarkable military engagements in ancient history. Facing a numerically superior Persian force, the Athenian commander Miltiades employed a daring and innovative battlefield strategy that would change the course of the war. To compensate for being outnumbered, Miltiades deliberately weakened the center of his formation and reinforced both flanks. His heavily armed hoplites, disciplined citizen soldiers of Athens, were positioned on the wings, while the center was held by a thinner line meant to delay the Persians. As expected, the Athenian center gave way under pressure. But this was part of Miltiades' design. While the center held just long enough, the stronger Athenian flanks successfully broke through the lighter-clad Persian infantry. Once the wings had advanced, they turned inward and struck the Persian troops from behind, encircling and overwhelming them. This maneuver caused widespread panic and forced the Persian forces into a hasty retreat. Though Persia would return a decade later in 480 BC under Xerxes I, Darius's son, the legacy of the Battle of Marathon endured. The later heroics at Thermopylae, where King Leonidas of Sparta and his men made their historic stand, would capture imaginations. But it was the unexpected and decisive victory of the Athenians at Marathon that first proved Persia was not invincible, and that the Greek city-states could resist and triumph against the might of empire. The significance of the Battle of Marathon, Persia versus Athens. The Battle of Marathon, Persia versus Athens, became an enduring symbol of resistance, courage, and democratic strength in the face of imperial domination. Almost immediately after the Athenian victory, the battle assumed legendary status within the Greek world. The fallen Athenian and Plataean warriors, 192 of whom were recorded among the dead, were honored with ceremonial funeral mounds erected on the battlefield itself. These memorials served as lasting tributes to those who defended their homeland against overwhelming odds. The cultural impact of the battle was profound. Epigrams were inscribed to commemorate the sacrifice of the warriors, and panoramic murals were commissioned to preserve the glory of their triumph. These artistic and literary expressions played a crucial role in shaping the collective identity of classical Athens and its role as a defender of Greek freedom. Our primary historical account of the battle comes from Herodotus, often referred to as the father of history, who chronicled the event approximately 50 years later in his seminal work, The Histories. His detailed narrative has become the cornerstone of modern understanding of the campaign and its broader context. Centuries later, the battle continued to inspire. In 1879, British poet Robert Browning captured its heroic legacy in his poem Miltiades, dramatizing the legendary run from Marathon to Athens to announce the victory, an event that would later inspire the modern marathon race. More than just a military encounter, the Battle of Marathon symbolized the triumph of a free citizen army over imperial power and helped lay the ideological foundations for Western civilization. The first marathon, a legacy born from the Battle of Marathon, Persia versus Athens. Though the original Olympic Games, held from approximately 776 BC to 393 AD, never included a long-distance race, the modern marathon owes its very existence to the legendary events of the Battle of Marathon, Persia versus Athens. The tale of the Greek messenger Phidippides, who is said to have run from the battlefield to Athens to announce the victory over Persia, captured the imagination of 19th-century organizers. Michael Briel, a close friend of modern Olympics founder Pierre de Coubertin, proposed the idea of a long-distance race in honor of Phidippides' historic run. The first official marathon was held during the inaugural modern Olympic Games in Athens in 1896. The course was 40 kilometers, just under 25 miles, and the extreme challenge of the race became evident as nearly half the competitors dropped out from exhaustion. The winner, Spiridon Lewis, a humble Greek shepherd, became a national hero, yet he never ran another competitive race again. His victory symbolized the enduring Greek spirit and honored the legacy of those who fought at Marathon centuries before. The influence of the Battle of Marathon extended beyond the Olympics. In 1897, the first Boston Marathon was held, inspired by the same legendary run. It has since become the world's oldest annual marathon and a global symbol of endurance and determination. Notably, the Boston Marathon made history again in 1972 by allowing women to officially compete, 12 years before women were allowed to participate in the Olympic marathon. The marathon remains a powerful tribute to ancient courage and modern perseverance, an athletic echo of the clash between Persia and Athens that helped define the Western world. Enjoying these historical deep dives? Subscribe to History Love for more powerful stories that shape the world. Like, share, and leave a comment below. Your engagement keeps history alive.